you very much. So Mayor Allan Litman hails originally from Duluth, Minnesota, and moved to Los Angeles following graduation from the University of Minnesota. He majored in history and political science. Mayor Litman entered the Army in 1965 and served in Vietnam from 1966 to 1967, where he was decorated with a Bronze Star for Valor and an Air Medal for flying in numerous combat flights. Following his military service, Mayor Litman taught public school in Los Angeles for several years before teaching in Simi Valley, California for 15 years. In addition to teaching public school, Mayor Litman was an adjunct professor at Pepperdine University, teaching in the Graduate School of Education and Psychology. While teaching at Pepperdine, Mayor Litman completed his master's in administration and his doctoral work in institutional management. In 1984, Mayor Litman left education and founded an automobile service company until retiring and moving to Maui, Hawaii in 1994. After a brief retirement, Mayor Litman opened a small practice in child and family psychotherapy and provided autism consulting for the state of Hawaii again until retiring in 2004 to Mesquite. Since relocating to Mesquite, Mayor Litman has become very active in Veterans Affairs, directing the annual Veterans Day Parade, Memorial Day services, bringing the Vietnam Wall that heals to Mesquite in 2010. He helped found the Mesquite Veterans Center, serves on both the boards of the center and the local chapter of the Vietnam Veterans, has assisted the Exchange Club on veterans issues, and was the president of Dollar for Scholars. In 2011, then Councilman Litman was elected to a 2-year city council term. In 2013, Councilman Litman was re-elected. On May 13, 2014, Councilman Litman was elected as the mayor. Since 2006, Mayor Litman has taught spinning classes at the City Recreation Center. And Mayor Litman, the last on his bio, which we leave the best for last, of course, he has been married to his wife Phyllis for now 53 years.
My wife insists she was a child bride. Age 3, I believe, but no, not true. You mentioned Duluth, Minnesota. As I think back, I don't know how this kid from Duluth, Minnesota ended up being the mayor of Mesquite, Nevada. It happened. I stopped through here, by the way, in 1965. I just got my graduate degree, or bachelor's at the University of Minnesota. Moving to California, and it was getting dark, and I thought, I've got to find a place to stop for the night. And all I saw was this little tiny place, a couple of lights. It's Mesquite, Nevada. And as I told people back then, there were more cows there than people, I'm sure. And little did I know that all the years later, I would be here as the mayor of this beautiful city. One never knows what's going to occur in life. So I'm very excited to be here today, and I'm excited and so pleased that so many of you are here to celebrate, not me, but our beautiful city, its successes, the microphone that keeps falling down, and its future. I'm excited today that I have the honor of delivering my State of the City address to so many distinguished guests. With that, good afternoon and welcome. Can you hear me okay with this? It also doesn't stay. Let's try it this way. Better?
Yeah.
Much like the President's State of the Union address, the State of the City speech should celebrate the community, recognize areas for improvement, and set the policy agenda for the year ahead based on the goals and agenda of its leaders. I believe this address will cover these areas today. Many mayors open with a joke or a funny story. I love a good joke, but I'm terrible at telling them. Nowadays, of course, the joke or story needs to be politically correct. So with all that said, I'll just skip the joke and quote from some obscure politician that once said, quote, "I'll try to keep my remarks brief. After all, it's said that most speakers need no introduction. What they need is a conclusion." So sit back and I'll shortly give you my take on the state of the city of Mesquite, Nevada. In past years, I spent considerable time thinking of a theme for the State of the City address. I tried to be creative and think I was. This year, a theme came to me as I thought about myself. As I'm sure most of you know, I had some medical issues over the past year. It's no secret, and shouldn't be. I believe in being open as much as possible. But I'm fine now. I'm okay. Life is good and getting better. That's my theme for this year. Just substitute Mesquite instead of my name. Mesquite is fine. Mesquite is good and getting better. Mesquite is a great place to live and enjoy life as I do. I am blessed. I have the opportunity to spend the best years of my life in Mesquite. I have the opportunity to work with the best staff a mayor could ever hope for. Is Mesquite a perfect place? No, it's not. No place is. There is no utopia. By the way, utopia is defined as an imagined community or society that possesses highly desirable and nearly perfect qualities for its citizens. In a utopia, everyone and everything is perfect, but no place is. But if any place is close, Mesquite is. I didn't make it that way, nor did any elected official. You did. All of your optimism and your hard work establishing your businesses, your love of this community, your generosity towards those in need, your belief in our future, your respect for law and order, and your faith in our local government got us to where we are today, and I thank you for that. I know that many of you are here today are fairly new to Mesquite, and perhaps not aware of its early history that laid the groundwork for what we have today. They say the third time is a charm. That's the way it was for the proud pioneer families who came here to create a new life for themselves. We were called Mesquite Flat back in the 1870s and the 1880s. My pioneer families were wiped out back then from floods, twice in just a couple years. They persevered. Remember that word. They persevered and came back. With 6 young families from Bunkerville, they rebuilt the destroyed canals for irrigation and finally made a permanent settlement. They changed the name to Mesquite, and here we are. Move ahead 100 years, and in 1984, Mesquite was incorporated as a city with 1,110 residents. We were strictly a farming community with cotton, raisin production, if you're not aware, and again, milk cattle is its main source of income. And where I was told if you drove down Mesquite Boulevard, which was Highway 91 at the time, you knew we were the dairy business. Couldn't miss it. Again, we had more cows on the census than we had people in Mesquite. When the Pepper Mill Casino opened in 1970, Mesquite started to diversify its economy. Mesquite, again, persevered through the years. We made it through a serious recession. We will continue to move forward. And by the way, our current full-time population is now approximately 22,500 residents. I also have a sheet here that is not here with my guests today, special guests. I have a lot of them. Okay, this is going to be hard without my sheet. That I'm sure our attorney has sitting there someplace. But I hope he picked up. But he didn't pick up. It disappeared. Okay, I'm going to shoot from the hip on this one. I'm terrible. Okay, we have Mayor Deborah March. Unfortunately, that was my first introduction. Also, Mayor John Lee and his wife Marilyn from the city of North Las Vegas. Zach Zaragoza, State Director for United States Senator Catherine Cortez Masto. Timothy Buchanan, Public Affairs Director, City of Henderson. Maggie Mora, District 4 Representative, U.S. House of Representatives. Councilmember Annie Black, the City of Mesquite. Councilmember George Galt, City of Mesquite. Councilmember Sandra Raymaker, City of Mesquite. And Mayor Pro Tem, City Council Member Brian Worston, City of Mesquite. Thank you. I was also going to recognize some other important guests. Then I looked around the room earlier and I said, you know what? Every one of you is an important guest. We'll be here all day reading names. Okay. Give yourselves credit. Thank you for being here. Mesquite has a number of community organizations that contribute much to making our city what it is. If you are representing one of our many civic or nonprofits, thank you for attending today. I want to thank the CasaBlanca Hotel for not only hosting today's event, but also for all they do for our city. They don't like recognition, but they contribute far more than you know. I would like to thank the Eureka Hotel and Casino for hosting many of the Chamber events and all they do in our community for our youth and our veterans. I'd also like to thank the Conestoga Golf for hosting Chamber lunches at their club. A city does not run itself. If it is to run correctly and smoothly, the staff must be dedicated to the betterment of the city. I firmly believe we have the best staff anywhere. Our department heads have led with dedication, loyalty, and vision. For many years, they operated with a shoestring budget, layoffs, and little support. They persevered, a word I've used numerous times. They persevered under trying conditions. Under our charter, the key person who is responsible for running our city is the city manager, Andy Parker. Andy, wave. Let them know you're here. Andy is assisted by Aaron Baker. Is Aaron still here? And Martine Green. Martine Green is the assistant to all three of us. And the city council. Martine hasn't been with us very long, but she hit the ground running from day one. And I'm truly fortunate to have all these people supporting me. Aaron, by the way, will be sneaking out of here shortly with our city attorney to do a conference call to the state legislature. So he told me earlier, he said it's not a protest. I said, as long as you don't hold up a sign, we're okay. As you know, the role of the city council is to govern through ordinances and to approve the budget and other business of the city. This year we have 3 new council persons, which I've mentioned already, Andy Black, Sandra Raymaker, and George Galt. Although new, they are quickly adjusting to city government. This past year, Mesquite accomplished quite a bit. In fact, so much that I decided to break it down by departments and note their accomplishments and future goals for Mesquite. In no particular order, let me talk a little about each of our departments and what they accomplished in 2018, as well as their goals for the coming year. And this sets the framework for what is the state of our city. It's by no means all their accomplishments, or I'd have you here all day listening. 2018 marked a tumultuous year for our fire department. With the departure of Chief Christopher, who was replaced with Jason Andrus, I assure you we are in good hands. Under Chief Andrus, we replaced a new fire engine into service, replacing a 23-year-old well-worn-out truck. Our reserve staff at fire went from 2 to 10 with more to come. We receive a daily report now from our department, which greatly improved communication and transparency within our city. With our growing and yet aging population, the department is always busy. I hope to continue to staff fire and rescue to provide the services our residents and visitors expect from a first-class city. I commend each and every member of our fire and rescue department. With the coming of natural gas, in fact natural gas is here, finally, only after 22 or 3 years, the department will be working with Southwest Gas to provide tactical procedures in responding to any natural gas emergency. The department continues to provide employee development through training and education to better prepare themselves in providing a higher level of care for our community. I can't thank Chief Jason Andrus enough for his leadership. The Chief is not here today. He is in Reno on a conference and unfortunately couldn't be here. But again, thank you, Chief. Our Department of Athletics and Leisure Services, under the direction of Nick Montoya, Nick, wave, let me know you're here, continues to shine. I'm not sure that Nick ever sleeps. Whenever or wherever he is needed, he's there. It's almost too much to describe what this department accomplished in the past year. With Nick and his staff being conservation-minded, they have been able to move our parks and facilities to a new water control system, saving the city money, water, and time. Town Square Park was completed. Thank you, Nick. Town Square Park was completed and is a beautiful addition to our park system. New LED lighting was put in at Old Mill Park. Safety fence for our preschool was installed to protect our little ones. We acquired a silver sneaker contract that will pay the city to keep our seniors healthy and active at our recreation center. In 2019, the department plans on refurbishment of the SEC splash pad, obtaining grant money for new parks projects, adding more adult sports programs, and additional remodeling of the recreation center. Mr. Montoya is the star of sports and recreation in the city of Mesquite. Give him a hand. The City Clerk's Department is one of our smallest departments, with one full-time and one part-time clerk. Their duties, however, are very complex. They need to be exceptionally accurate and are subject to numerous deadlines. In other words, very stressful in nature. Tracy Beck, over there. Our full-time clerk is doing an excellent job, multitasking constantly. Tracy interacts with the public daily. This past year, in addition to her regular duties, was the successful preparation for elections, and the responsibilities would come with seeing that all our local elections went so smoothly. Tracy is responsible for recording of the minutes, the council meetings, tech review meetings, the CAB, and others as needed. She prepares resolutions, certificates, and numerous other city documents. With the assistance of a deputy clerk, the department completed the first phase in having our past agendas, minutes, and packets scanned. Our Granicus program will make all of the material available on the city website later in the spring. Thank you, Tracy, for a job well done. Mesquite Police is most proud of the designation of bringing us the safest city in Nevada. Applause. Believe me, this is no easy task to be the safest city in Nevada. This honor reflects the department's strong relationship with our community and the combined efforts of our citizens and officers in creating a proactive policing policy, not only to prevent crime, but also to quickly solve crime. Youth safety is a primary concern, and the department was able to add an additional school resource officer this year, the first one in Clark County in an intermediate school. The department continues to build information sharing relationships on all levels to better solve crime. Our police volunteer fleet was extended by 2 additional vehicles, and all volunteers were given police radios to assist them in helping our officers by providing traffic control at accidents and during critical incidents. Goals for the coming year are basically the same every year with the police. Keep us safe, out of harm's way, and that's all I need to hear. Thank you, Chief Chesley, our new chief. staff that work so hard on our behalf. Public Works, under the direction of Billy Tanner, amazes me. In 2018, they received approval and put in a wildlife deterrent perimeter fence around our airport, 16,000 feet of it. In addition, an airport sewer line extension, 9 new manholes, and 69,000 square feet of new asphalt. Under the Complete Streets program, the department installed a number of rectangular rapid flashing beacons. These highly visible flashing beacons help provide a safer crossing for our pedestrians. Town Square Park was designed in-house by Public Works staff. They also provided construction management and inspection. If you have children, this park is a must. If you haven't been there, bring the kids. It's beautiful. If you're not sure where it is, it's by our old gymnasium facilities. Roadway projects are numerous. This week, a lot of them. Many streets were redone and repaired. No potholes in Mesquite streets. Our streets are the best I've ever seen. I know Public Works hates to see our streets cut up for projects, but as I mentioned before, natural gas is finally here. I believe it will be well worth the minor disruptions we will encounter as the lines are run. Many businesses will gain from natural gas, and hopefully bring more needed companies that depend on natural gas to Mesquite. In the coming years, of course. Just the other day, Danielle's Chocolates and Popcorn became the first local business to utilize natural gas. And gentlemen, if you haven't bought Valentine's candy for your other half, I have to make a pitch. They've got the best. In the coming months, many more will join Danielle's. Natural gas will be a game changer in determining our future in Mesquite. We live in a desert, and flooding causes sediment to fill our detention basins. Public Works cleans them yearly and removes the sediment that would otherwise allow flooding to occur. The Virgin River Flood Protection Wall has been engineered. In the very near future will protect those flooded so badly in the floods of 2005 and 2010. There's another project, one that is very dear to my heart, the veterans section of the new cemetery. If you've not been out to see it, take the time, stop by and see the veterans section. Let me tell you how it came to be. I don't like to use I, and I don't want to take all the credit for this project. I put together a rough design on a piece of notebook paper. Travis Anderson, our very talented city engineer, refined it, and I went out for bids. There was no city money involved because none was budgeted. The bid came in for the basic infrastructure. I was astounded how high it was. Bill Tanner came to the rescue. I paid for the needed material, and on his own, with the help of several unnamed by choice city employees, they came out on their own time on the weekends, dug the holes for the foundations, poured the concrete, and built the basic structures. Their work was flawless.
Wow.
I went to Mesquite Tile for an estimate for the rest of the work, as it does take professional tile setters for the next phase. I spoke with Kevin Parrish, the owner of Mesquite Tile, for the bid to complete the monuments. I waited, and I waited. I got an email with the bid, and I thought, well, this is going to be interesting because we really don't have very much money to pay for this with, literally nothing. Mesquite Tile donated, yes, donated all the material, all the labor, and all the cleanup to finish the project. The bronze military medallions were provided by Charlie Sellner of City Shops at his cost. All I paid for was freight. A project that should have cost many thousands of dollars came in under a total of under $3,000. The money was donated by a very generous Mesquite Exchange Club. I I know I deviated some from the State of the City address, but these are the things that make Mesquite the wonderful city it is. We as veterans can never thank Mesquite and its generous citizens enough for what they do. So what does Public Works have in mind for us in the coming year? Of course, much of the same quality work that gives us beautiful streets, more roadways that, before they need total rehabilitation, are taken care of, more in-house reviews for all new residential and commercial projects, and what so many of you have asked for, the installation, finally, of 2 new traffic signals coming this month. I know this past few weeks have been a little disruptive as you try to get around the work, but it was far more complicated. I always thought you could just, you dig a hole and you run some wires and up go the poles and no, it's a lot of work. Okay. Aaron Baker is a department of 1. Aaron serves as the Assistant City Manager, the Director of the Senior Center, our museum, and as a jack of all trades. His knowledge is invaluable. Aaron is in charge of the redevelopment agency of the city, assisted in the bringing of natural gas to Mesquite, does most of our community outreach through social media and multiple community events. If that's not enough, he was responsible for bringing an agreement to Mesquite for a property lease for testing unmanned aerial systems, drones, and that's out at the exit 112. Aaron in 2019 will be working on utilization of the Archon building as a medical facility and the increased usage of RDA funds and beautification grants for Mesquite and Sand Hill Boulevards. Mesquite is very fortunate to have Aaron on board. I don't believe I've ever received an I don't know from Aaron. If he doesn't have the answer, he finds it. With the 2019 legislature now in session, Aaron will be working closely with our lobbyists on proposing bills to benefit our city. I get tired just talking about all he does. Thank you, Aaron. Human Resources up till this year was a department of 1. The very capable Gina Mendez. Where's Gina? Thank you. I'd ask her to stand up, but she's so short it wouldn't make any difference. When she comes up to the microphone, it's always, at City Hall, it's always fun at the podium. And I was going to say one day, stand up please, but she was. Oh well. All right. I can do that, Gina, because my wife is about as tall as you are. Gina's a very long time city employee, I think going back to 1995, way back when. Okay. Human Resources, however, is able to support all of Mesquite's staff of full-time employees during the past year. Gina does the advertising, testing, transferring of full-time employees from one department to another. The recruitment this past year and a half, I believe, was 67 part-time and 20 full-time positions. The full-time positions were basically to replace positions that have been vacated through retirements, early terminations, and those approved through the budget process. Human Resources maintain the city's risk management programs as well as claims against the city. Human Resources work with third-party agencies, keeping the city in compliance with all federal, state, and local reporting, insurance programs, workers' comp, general liability, as well as assisting with union grievances and employee relations. Of course, there's even more. HR in the coming year will continue to deliver assistance and support to all department heads and every city employee. Human Resources will continue with maintaining and scanning all city employee files, keeping us up to date with training on harassment, violence, bullying, drugs and alcohol policies. HR has a goal to acquire new modules through NeoGov to bring all training together from OSHA, safe practices, IT training, and public safety training. I strongly encourage the city to budget for this coming year. By the way, Gina finally has an assistant in her office. I wonder how one person runs an office, who does all of that, but luckily we've got someone go through this year. Another city function is the operation of our municipal court. Judge Toon has taken our court into the 21st century with the Mesquite Breaking the Cycle program, now in its 3rd year. The program assists habitual criminal defendants that have undergone underlying drug and alcohol addictions with their goal of breaking the cycle of addiction and crime. The court also continues to collaborate with specialized veteran and mental health court programs in Las Vegas. The main goal of Judge Toon in the coming year is to increase in-person and distance training for court staff. Our Information Technology Department, headed by Dirk Marshall, handled over 1,700 service requests this past year, printed over 875,000 pages of documents, designed and maintained their city website with over 147,000 hits to that website. Information Technology completed the 9/11 system upgrade, new network security resources, new mobile devices for police, fire, and rescue, established backup dispatch for emergency situations, and created and updated a number of online mapping tools for public use. Much of what they do I don't fully understand. It's beyond my technical mind. I'm sure glad they understand it. But anytime I need anything, I just go in there and I say, why did my phone lose all my contacts? Why does my iPad? And on and on and on. And there's always someone there to give me the answer. Love it. In 2019, they will be implementing new security card access at multiple locations in the city, a new jail door control system, improving online form and information access options, and replacing the HVAC in the City Hall data center. Excellent job, staff. Development Services, under the direction of Richard Seacrest. He's hiding somewhere. There he is. You just have to look for the silver hair. Also was very busy in 2018. The old gym got a new facelift thanks to historic preservation grant from the state. More restoration will occur this year. In 2018, the city issued 338 single-family residential building permits, the highest since 2008. Our growth is currently about 4.25%, making us the fastest growing community in the state of Nevada. In addition, 19 commercial business building permits, 40 commercial remodel permits, and 50 new business permits for a total of just under $100 million. Eagles Landing Travel Center opened, employing 23 full-time employees, 4 part-time, and 4 managers. Their liquor store has 6 employees, and their tire shop 8. The Mesa Valley Senior Living Center is well underway. In fact, I can't believe if you driven by it near the hospital, how fast that facility is going up. The project will have 20 to 30 jobs at startup and an additional 10 at capacity. Beehive Homes opened another facility for our seniors. Our state-of-the-art library, a $13 million project, is beautiful and very, very busy if you go there. Leslie's Pool Supply and Service has been operational most of the year, providing a much-needed service. Mesquite Christian Academy is open and expanding, first of its type in the city of Mesquite. Mesquite Pharmacy open, and they do home delivery. Starbucks open. Everybody's asking me about Starbucks. When are they going to open their doors? When are they going to open? Well, they're open and they're very busy. They have 26 employees. In addition, Bridge Insurance is now here. CSE Solar Solutions joined us in Mesquite. Just this past month, the Front Porch Flowers and Gifts had their ribbon cutting. Mr. Taco is open with 12 full-time employees, 4 part-time and 2 managers. Wendy's has 17 full-time employees now, 16 part-time and 4 full-time managers. For a very small city, I find all of this very, very impressive. In 2018, the department issued 339 new business licenses, the most in any year ever. The department will begin to update our master plan, completing the parks, trails, and open space element, the housing element, and the transportation element. Because of our population growth, our goal is to create a planning and zoning commission. I'm tasking the City Council to start the process of looking to appointing a planning and zoning commission by finding future members and setting the guidelines for the necessary training needed for those selected. Our legal department, although small, is and will always be very active. Bob Sweet. Where's Bob? There's Bob. Does an excellent job of taking care of the day-to-day business of keeping our ordinances up to date, dealing with the numerous court cases he gets, prosecutions of the bad guys, trials, and all the other legal matters that takes place in the city. He too has an outstanding staff. Last but not least, and a very necessary element of our city, is our finance department. Finance is not as exciting as some of our more visible departments, but we look to them probably more than any other department for obvious reasons. In a nutshell, they handle the money coming in. They pay all the bills, the payroll. They coordinate with all the other departments. They meet with the auditors, and they balance the books, all under very, very strict regulations. In 2019, finance will continue to improve all aspects of operation using the latest methods in accounting to improve our efficiency, coordinate with fire and rescue to apply for additional recovery fees, and plan for succession of our finance director treasurer. Thank you, Mr. Hempy and staff, for a well done job. Before I talk about my goals for the coming year, years to be, and I don't want to conclude without them, I don't want to forget the Mesquite Desert Dogs professional basketball team. They have reorganized and are playing at our high school. Not many cities as small as Mesquite can have professional sports. We do. I hope everyone supports them in their second season. We have coach here and management. And I've heard rumors of a indoor football league coming here, our team. So our future is bright in athletics. No, we can't build a $2.5 billion stadium, I'm sorry. But we're going to utilize what we got. Okay. So I hope I've been able to give you a detailed overview of how our city operates, a small portion of what each department does, and what they wish to accomplish in the coming year. I know I present a lot of information today, but I found it necessary in order to illustrate the importance of a unified staff, the complexity of city government, and the one common goal of each department, working as one, the betterment of our city. My goal as mayor is to offer support and ideas to each department in any way I can. As you know, under our city charter, the mayor is more of a ceremonial position. Most of the decisions are in the hands of the city manager and council. And when people ask me sometimes, well, why didn't you vote on an issue? The mayor of Mesquite does not vote unless it's a tie vote, just so you know. And I've been with the city since 2011, and there has never been a tie vote. So chances of me voting are slim at this point. Okay. So let me conclude with what I would like to see our city council working on in the coming year, based on my vision for Mesquite. Foremost to me is public safety. We need to take all possible and prudent steps to provide for continued, effective, and efficient police, fire, and emergency medical services. As you know, we recently had a prolonged power outage in the city. The second one in a little over 2 years. The first one came in the heat of summer, this one in the cold of winter. We have an emergency operations center at City Hall, but no lights for the rest of the building during an outage. This needs to be corrected. We have no place for our citizens to go when the power is out for a long period of time, other than to the casinos, and they have no power in the hotel rooms. Mesa View Hospital cannot handle a large number of people. The schools have no backup power source. To this end, I've asked Bob Sweet, Andy Barton, and Aaron Baker to come together with Overton Power, Dixie Escalante Power, Lincoln County, and St. George to develop a solid, well-thought-out contingency plan that will provide us with additional needed power during the emergencies that will, without a doubt, happen in the future. I want you to understand this is not a simple procedure, but unless we start now, we will not be prepared for the future. Overton Power is committed to the process, but it will take cooperation from many parties. I'm also asking the BLM to commit to this process. We need their help in assisting OPD in obtaining the necessary right-of-ways and bringing a redundant line to Mesquite. It's not the money that holds things up, it's the bureaucracy of Washington that can hold this project up for years.
I don't want us to just talk about this and hope we do not have an emergency beyond our control. We need a real plan that will be in place and publicized to every home in this city. We cannot be unprepared in case of a disaster, either natural or man-made. The most important element of our city is our citizens. To this end, I will continue to pursue positive solutions to potential health and safety issues that could affect our city. I don't have all the answers, but with your input, we will be successful. In healthcare, we must be an active player in improving community healthcare and ensuring that Mesa View Hospital or an alternative facility becomes and remains a very viable, successful operation. I can assure you that the City of Mesquite will have a Plan B in place. Citizen communication and participation, we will continue to improve our public information and customer service efforts, and will continue to seek public input and participation. Job creation in a city as small as Mesquite, with our demographics, is a challenge. Over the past year, we have created a number of well-paying jobs. Deep Roots Medical alone now has 103 full-time and 12 part-time employees, and that is outstanding. Political leadership and stability. We will provide proactive, forward-thinking, and long-term focused leadership to guide Mesquite forward and to become a more effective player in the county, the state, and federal political environments. Plan quality growth. We will improve our ability to plan and manage growth in our community. We will play a leadership role in preserving a high quality of life through wise use planning with a focus on low-density development whenever possible. We are Mesquite. The majority of us live here for the quiet, peaceful environment a small city offers. We don't have everything, but do we really want the stresses of big city life? At Trader Joe's, I get asked all the time. It won't happen in our lifetime, folks. They want 250,000 people in their demographic area. Big box retailers, not with our population and the proximity of St. George so close. Sacrifices, I guess, but worth it if you value why we are here. Financial sensibility. We will carefully monitor the finances of the city with a conservative approach, being mindful of the possibility of an economic downturn beyond our control. It has happened before. I assure you it will happen again. Mesquite will be prepared. I conclude today as I began today. Mesquite is fine. Mesquite is well. Our future is bright. Embrace it for all it has to offer. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.